We're live.
Okay, cool.
So what's up? What's going on? Just
Nothing
give
much.
people some time, to come on,
Okay.
onto the platform.
Dope.
I'm finally, glad to have you on.
I'm glad to connect with you and, see the amazing work that you're doing with On the Q Productions, and
Thank you.
You, as a Black male looking for a platform to kind of express, the work that he's doing. It's great to be in a space where I think I could really be comfortable and
right.
Answer questions and,
yeah,
just connect with people for sure.
That's what it's all about.
Mm-hmm.
So I just want to introduce, our viewers. I actually had like a little hiatus for maybe about 4 weeks. Okay. So you're like my first guest. So I wanted to come back strong, on the Q with Qadriyyah Marie. So I wanted to definitely, bring you on for the spring. So I know you have a lot coming up. But again, just briefly, I just want to introduce the people who are just joining. I'm Qadriyyah Marie. I'm on the Q with Qadriyyah Marie. I'm here with my wonderful guest, Mr. Bilal Walker. Is it Al-Munir? I don't want to mess it up.
Yes, that's right.
LLC. Mm-hmm. So we're here. It's Wellness Wednesday. I love having guests on that I see out there doing positive things in the community. This guest, Mr. Bilal Walker, he happens to be my cousin, but it's funny because we haven't met in person yet.
Not yet.
Not yet. So we're putting it out there. So we're taking this step first, but we're definitely gonna make sure that we meet sometime very soon. So
Absolutely.
Bilal, would you like to just briefly introduce yourself to the viewers and a short background about yourself?
Sure. So good evening, everybody. My name is Bilal Walker. I'm the co-founder of Al-Munir LLC. And Al-Munir is a education consulting firm that works with nonprofits, schools, and grassroots organizations to develop culturally responsive community engagement. So we work with organizations that are, focused on connecting with the community in a meaningful manner.
Yeah, you've definitely been out there. We haven't met in person, but I've definitely been following you and seeing what you've been doing. And, I just want to commend you on that, especially with your education consulting firm. That's something that's very much needed in this community, especially in the North community.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
So you have it. It's with you're co-founded it with your wife, correct?
Yes. So my business partner and wife, Brianna, he is, the glue that keeps it all together. We work together. She has a background in education as well. She has a background.
Hey, hi. Our cousin came on. He's saying hello.
Hi, how you doing? Background in public health, and administration, background in education. She has a background in mental health supports as well. So her and I bounce off of each other and have been doing these really interesting projects with, different people or different organizations within the community.
Yeah, how long have you guys formed this firm? How long has it been around?
So we've been doing this work for the last 4 years. I started off as a middle school and worked in various roles in the middle school that I was working at for a while. And so then I just recently transitioned into a different role, still in education. I'm still considered teaching, but I'm doing more program management. But the entire time in education, I've been just working with, these organizations, grassroots organizations, interning for them, providing them supports to their marketing, providing them supports to grant development, community as a whole. And so I've been doing these projects kind of one-off over the last 4 years. And now it's kind of I have a stronger strategic goal. And we're kind of prioritizing particular interests for our business so that, we're conducting ourselves in a manner where we can get to a level where city and state organizations want to partner with us directly or contract us for support.
Well, that sounds like you're really doing some big things. And you're focused primarily in North New Jersey area, or are you trying to expand, or you're trying to stay local?
So currently, we've done a large part of our work in Essex County. We have done work in Trenton as well.
Okay.
But to start a nonprofit called Urban Seeds Grow, and it'll be focused on changing policies and laws that impact youth on a statewide level. So as a consulting firm, we're not just working with organizations particular to Newark. Its ability to work around various cities and different counties. So if you're interested, if you're an organization in South Jersey, if you're in Central Jersey, you're looking for support, you're looking for grant writing, you're looking for youth development initiatives, definitely reach to us so we can sit down and come up with a game plan or a framework to help you execute your strategic goals.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely want you to promote what you're doing because, like I said earlier, it's much needed. There's people out here who don't even know that they need your services yet.
Yeah, I think that's kind of how the work kind of came about. I had my experience in urban education and coming straight out of college and going straight into working in an underserved community where you have large majorities of your students living below the poverty line, a large amount of students reading on second and third grade reading levels, despite being, higher grade levels like seventh and eighth grade. And so that kind of got me focused on, enrichment and thinking about how impactful enrichment was to myself and to Brianna. Getting those extra opportunities to exemplify what outside of the classroom is really, really important. So that's one of our strongest supports we offer organizations is enrichment programming. We help them develop it and help them develop a game plan to implement it into their school's culture, their school's priorities for the year.
Like I need to start. I'm going to get your information later, but I'm definitely taking notes as well, so I can reach out to some people that I know who definitely, utilize your services.
Absolutely.
What made you originally to go back to get into teaching?
I think honestly, it was a combination of things. I think my father's background in social work definitely influenced that.
Right.
My entire life, my pops just worked in and out of youth homes and halfway houses and constantly working around young people. He worked around, adolescent, not really middle school age, more like high school age, and then like maybe 21 to 24 was like always his age group that he worked around. I was just frustrated a lot of times because I couldn't really want to spend time working with other children when he had a child. But ultimately, I think it influenced my decision to go into education, and it kind of through being advantageous and looking for internships. And when I was a junior in college, I found an internship that was in a school, and it happened to be a middle school that I attended, and it just kind of spiraled. Before I was finishing up my program, my bachelor's in business administration, I was getting offered a position in education. So it's been a blessing, alhamdulillah, the entire time. Like since I graduated, I've had a job, and it's a career for me. It's something I love to do. It's something I'm extremely passionate about. People I love families. I love connecting with young people and their families. Empowering them, I think, is super important.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Now, and bringing up family again, we have to all connect some more too.
Absolutely.
It's important. I really believe that connection, especially now with everything that's going on, is really important to keep intact. In some way, virtually is nice, but things are starting to open up more, and we need to just connect with each other more and not be afraid, to reach out, or how that is. Oh,
Absolutely.
we have someone here saying what's up to you.
Peace, peace, peace.
What's up, Teddy? I haven't seen you in a while. So what other projects are you working on currently? Because I know you have a lot going on as far as the urban farms. Because I've been seeing your advertisement and your post for that.
So we're currently working with the city of Newark. Al-Munir is working with the city of Newark through an Adopt a Lot program. So
okay, yeah.
For those who aren't aware, the city has, I believe, over 2,000 vacant properties. They're blighted.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It's a lot of property out here that is underutilized, underdeveloped. And so in order to combat that, the city of Newark has put several things in place. One is specific being the Adopt a Lot process, which allows this entity, whether nonprofit or for-profit, to lease a vacant lot from the city for $1 per year. So you get to lease a vacant property for $1 a year under the guise that you will transform this place or vacant property into a space that like affords the community some type of benefit. So it can be an urban farm, it could be a playground, it could just be like a community gathering place. And so I used to intern for Lincoln Park Coast Cultural District.
Okay, right.
And I was always like, thought it was dope how they do the Lincoln Park Music Festival and they just take over the whole park.
Yeah, they do. When he says they take over, they really do take over the whole park. It's a whole community event.
3 days, sometimes 4 days. I think over the last years, they bang out mass events, tens of thousands of people come to the space. And Anthony Smith, who's the executive director over there, he kind of got me into placemaking, this idea that you can take any place you want and turn it into something that is going to afford the community a place where arts can live, where culture can live, where business can live. And so I'm like, all right, I want to create that, but also like I have in the back of my mind, like, I know people are out here struggling with food security. Yeah. They don't have enough food on their table every month. And I kind of got that in my head from teaching in schools and, feeling uncomfortable when it was time for me to eat lunch and, like eat in front of my young people. They've already had lunch, but it's still uncomfortable for me because even the questions that they would ask, sometimes they wouldn't be really knowledgeable about different fruits and vegetables that I would eat or different types of food that I would eat. Because they hadn't been exposed to it. So I just, that coupled with like my religious beliefs about feeding people and taking care of the community, being a Muslim and that being at the forefront of my life, I always, have given, if I see people on the street, if I have it to give, I'll give to them. And I was like, I find something more sustainable. So my wife and I came up with this idea of this urban farm. And then we said, we go throw inside and then we go throw seating inside. So it's like a flex space that has an urban farm in there. So we have our pilot farm, which is on Grafton Avenue in the north. That's the North Broadway neighborhood. And then we have another farm that's on the South Broad Street neighborhood on the corner of Elizabeth Avenue and Miller Street, about 5,000 square feet. So it's mad space out there. It's plenty of opportunity to curate events and plenty of opportunity to grow and distribute locally grown food. And we're in a food desert here in the city of Newark. We have multiple McDonald's, no disrespect to anybody that owns a McDonald's franchise, no disrespect to none to anybody that owns a fast food chain or restaurant, because those things are needed. There are people that, are more acclimated. A lot of us are just like go and buy food that's closer to our homes. And
we do.
We don't have enough supermarkets. And we have more like smaller bodegas. And sometimes, no disrespect to the bodega owners either, but they could be a lot of them could be providing higher quality food and a wider variety of food.
Right, they could.
So
they choose not to.
we're not the first to do it. We're not the first to do the urban farming. Tobias Fox, who you've already interviewed from Newark Sciences Sustainability, he's a forerunner in the urban farming and just like
right. Yeah, we go back, me and Tobias, a number of years.
He's an amazing brother, and he's definitely been a mentor to me and Brianna through this process. So
right.
we have about 15 active gardens within the city of Newark.
Wow, you wouldn't even think that many.
Yo, we have more than that. We're going by active, people whose farms are curating different events. They're selling their produce, those, as opposed to some that may be more like a passion project. You may have somebody growing some stuff in the back of their yard that we have no idea about. So yeah, we have larger farms here than people anticipate that are managed by locals, people who live here, people who don't have thousands and millions of dollars to kind of do these things. They're just doing it with their own.
Right.
The city doesn't give us any. Unfortunately, there's no funding for the Adopt a Lot process yet. Hopeful to get that.
Yeah, now it's not, but that can change. We have another relative, Wanda. She's saying hi, fam.
How you doing? Peace. Hey, family.
So it's always nice to have family support and stuff. So I definitely have to first of all come out to at least one of your farms. If you have at least 15, I have to be able to come out to at least one of them. I'm a big advocate and eating healthy. That's one of the main reasons I wanted to have you come on, because you do represent that in the community, and I do see more more Black people are starting to actually care about what's going in our bodies now.
Yeah, there's definitely a shift occurring, and I'm happy to see it. But the flip side of that is that unfortunately, to eat a little healthier, it does cost more.
Right, it does.
We need to have sustainable food systems within the hood. Like, we just rely on farms from Northwest Jersey, farms from New York to be supplying local fruits and vegetables to our local supermarkets. Why can't we take some of these vacant properties and turn them into urban farms that we create opportunities for wealth, with the farmers selling their fruits and vegetables to nonprofits, their farmers selling fruits and vegetables to school systems, the farmers selling fruits and vegetables to other farm stands, people who do like co-ops and
I've seen that too.
Market and things like that. Those are all valuable opportunities for Black farmers to make money. And just with the historical context of Black farmers, we had nearly over 1 million acres of land before Reconstruction, and between the time Reconstruction and now, we've lost 95% of that. We really don't
crazy.
A large acreage of land in the United States, and it's unfortunate because we helped.
Why do you think that's the case, though? Are you referring to slavery or just other factors?
There are several factors that contributed to that. One of them being, unfortunately, that the 40 acres and a mule never really happened for Black people.
No.
There were opportunities where Black people acquired land, but as after Reconstruction, and the resurgence of the Ku Klux Klan, they were really driving Blacks out of the South, where most of the rural area was, and a lot of them fled north, and then a lot of times they couldn't keep up with the maintenance of like trying to upkeep their farmland, because the United States Department of Agriculture was blocking them from having grants and loans. So they were strategically keeping Black farmers from being able to make a living off of farmland, despite the fact that cotton, indigo, the land and crops that we cultivated helped make this country, their country that it is.
We literally made the country on our our hands and feet and on our backs.
Absolutely. South Carolina was a leading producer for rice, a leading producer for indigo. So it's really fortunate to see, how much land we have lost. I'm really happy to know that there are a lot of things happening regarding the United States Department of Agriculture and their attempt to remedy this with the Black Farmers Fund, Black Farmers Act, which is gonna, erase debt from Black farmers. There's a lot.
Wow, that's awesome to hear.
Yeah, there's a lot of grants coming out. And then hopefully there'll be opportunities where they will literally just give Black people land, and indigenous people.
Yeah, as well.
As well, for sure, the indigenous people took a loss, but
right.
To be quite honest, we took a loss as well.
Yeah, I can't imagine us getting land.
I would love it.
I'm saying that would really be a game.
Oh yeah, it really would. I think it could change a lot because the potential, and just having a large greenhouse growing, a variety of crops, you can make $30,000 a year growing year round just on hydroponics. Like you can make 30. Wow. So if you got an area with 3 or 4 greenhouses, and you got a system and a framework for like, okay, these are the organizations that I sell my produce to, and the USDA recognizes me as a farm. You sitting on money. That's not even including for you to take that and maybe start a farm on the table restaurant, like what's happening in various cities across Jersey. A lot of farm to table businesses. I think one just started in East Orange.
Okay.
Farmer. So we love to see it for sure. Shout out to all the Black farmers out there. Shout out to the Black people that's plant happy and just want to love on plants. And it's in our DNA to be able to love on them. So if you think you don't have a green thumb, don't psych yourself out.
That's me. I don't know if I got that. And I have a little plant, I forget it's there. Sometimes
just
the poor plant, just dies. I'm like, this is not good.
Touch it, sing to it. I even you could put eggshells in the house plant. That has calcium in the eggshells, and that keeps the plant happy. It keeps the soil happy. So
wow, learn something new.
Yep, get them. My grandmother taught me that.
For people who have interest in urban farming, if they knew it was possible.
Oh yeah, it's very much a reality for I know full-time urban farmers here in the city right now. That's young Black people that's making out of selling fruits and vegetables, and to be quite, it could be lucrative with the proper funding and backing up. If you're an established business, like established urban business here, you can make money. There are people in South Orange, Maplewood, Montclair who to pay top dollar for locally grown food.
Right, that's true. They do love that. They're farmers.
They love it. They love a nice little farmers market. Make them feel like sustainable, and it's a good look because if you could buy it from local Black farmers and support us, why can't you do it? If you can go to Whole Foods and spend $5 on the bag of oranges,
high as hell.
They're
expensive. I rather support a Black business if possible before I go to Whole Foods.
Yeah,
nothing against Whole Foods, I do love it, but it's not the same.
It's a difference. But one thing I do love, not one, I love a lot about Whole Foods, the variety they have in there. The cleanliness. It's unfortunate that we don't see a lot of Black-owned supermarkets.
Right, we don't.
Something of that, stature in our communities that's owned by Black people. But Whole Foods does have a whole city's foundation where they take funds and they redistribute it into the city of Newark to help promote the development of sustainable food systems. So shout out to Whole Sage Foundation and all that you are continuing to do. You're recognizing it as a problem and you're doing something to remedy it. And Tobias and Greater Newark Conservancy and local farmers have already benefited from the Whole Cities Foundation grants right here in the city of Newark. So shout out to Whole Cities for sure.
Yeah, Newark is on the map. I mean, not that Newark ever really left off the map, but they're definitely starting to make more of a bigger mark now in that development part.
I would like to think in a lot of ways is due to the work of our mayor, Walker. I think he's doing amazing things. I think his focus on just like sustainability and creating a safer Newark, whether it's the food we eat, whether it's reform, you know, whether it's trafficking, all of these things that's happening in the city, you really see, you know, the mayor on the front lines with he's not doing it himself. He's putting respected people to lead these movements around, just like Black health, and that's
Black health.
It's really, really important. Shout out to UMDNJ. They're doing amazing things. University Hospital, Dr. Reef Al-Nahul is doing amazing things. The access we've had to resources during a pandemic is many cities have been able to acquire. So I'm really, really happy and proud that you know, throughout the pandemic, Newark didn't just crash and burn like everybody else.
No, we sure did it.
So we're standing resilient. We are Newark strong.
Yes.
See all of us keeping it strong.
But Newark has always, you know, survived. You know, it's a survival city. So no matter what comes through, or pandemic or hurricane, we seem to always override everything.
Yeah, we're bouncing back for sure. I think we're gonna see, God willing, in the next like 10 years, you know, a larger Black middle class here, you know, starting to see, you know, professionals
we are
being able to really have a stakeholdership is what we're missing. We need to be able to have property. We need to be able to do our own thing. And for so long, we've just been under the grips of poverty, the grips of systemic racism, the grips of intergenerational addiction. It's disgusting.
It's a whole list.
It's a list, and I think our leadership is tackling a lot at one time. And I think we all have an opportunity to do our part. And how my wife and I do our part is through this urban farming work, through this education consulting work, media organizations where they are, and supporting them and carrying out their initiatives is what we pride ourselves on. So shout out to everyone out here. If you're working in education, if you got a job, or whatever career you have, going to work, taking care of your family, doing the best, and that's really important. And that changes the perception of what people have of our city. And I don't think it's much change. They just need to see a different image.
Yeah, and you're definitely playing a part of that.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Definitely are. So anyone that's coming on just now that's watching, I'm here with Mr. Bilal Walker of Al-Munir LLC. If you guys are watching, just feel free to comment, leave any questions. You know, we'll both try to help. I'll try to let him answer most, because I'm still learning, you know, as far as, you know, healthy eating and all that, and, you know, living a healthy lifestyle, which is why I promote, but I'm still learning so much. So when you guys come on as guests, I try to take in everything that you guys are saying. I think you got me. I think you got me beat by a number of miles in that.
Brianna is very health conscious. I think and by health conscious, we're talking like even the socio-emotional, you know, health. All the role, you know, you can't eat right, but then you're neglecting, you know, the rest of your physical body. You're neglecting your emotional, your mental and emotional health, and that's an everyday task of making sure like I'm eating right, I'm taking care of myself mentally, I'm going to the gym, I'm going to work, I'm doing what I said I was going to do. I'm going to show up to work, I'm going to do my job, or I'm going to complete my project. You know, whatever your career path is, you're doing what you have to do. And so for a lot of us, that's a struggle because we're so caught up in everything else that's keeping us from being happy, like racism, like poverty. Like,
we are.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
And then you add now the pandemic on top of what we were dealing with before it even happened. So
the farming has been such a relief because it gives us so much exposure outside. It just allows us to connect with people kind of on a one-to-one basis. It was really, really amazing last summer. You know, the people from Grafton Avenue came out and we were able to employ some people, able to employ like at least like 6 young people, teach them a skill, carpentry.
Yes.
They learned about the food that we were growing in there, had opportunities to, of course, taste the food and take it back to their families.
Right.
And that's the stakeholdership piece that we want them to, and everyone to get, is that, you know, in order for the city to develop, everybody has to be learning. We're all constantly
learning, right? We all.
And we're learning from Tobias. We're learning from YouTube. We're learning from trial and error. I'm in a master's program. I'm learning every day about child policy and things that impact well-being. So I'm always in the pursuit of knowledge. Brianna's always in the pursuit of knowledge. I think that's what kind of sets our organization apart, is that, you know, we have some proven methods, but we're not on thinking we got it all figured out. We're willing to try something different. We're willing to employ a new strategy. We're definitely always willing to take feedback.
Yeah, that definitely is going to set you different. The fact that you're so open to trying new things to make your organization better. You have to have an open mind, because things change, and you have to be able to change with that. You have to be able to adapt.
And public health things are constantly changing. Some things remain the same in ways, but, like, you know, how we have to, even with technology now, how we have to engage with community, just based on the fact that people are a lot more conscious of how many people they're interacting with on a daily basis. And then just, you know, our shift more into a digital world where now people are going to be doing more from home, even after the pandemic, is for us, when we think about how do we engage with community on multiple levels. If we can't get to them face to face, how do we develop these cohorts of families that we're going to be interacting with so we can teach them about food and nutrition? How do we invest in young service learning leaders who want to, you know, learn about research and can do some of this work from their laptop and then come in person? Like, really highlighting the tech piece and things like that.
Yeah, the technology aspect of it, you have to really focus on more now.
Yep, absolutely.
Because people aren't necessarily going out as much. I mean, they are now. You know, now the weather is changing. People are getting, you know, vaccinated, and offices are starting to open up a little more. So people are going out. But like you said, even after the pandemic, things are going to be way more virtual than they were, you know, prior to it.
Absolutely.
And you still want to be able to do what you're doing and be able to educate people.
Oh, yeah,
that's the biggest thing, the education, that, like you said, the knowledge. That's the key right there. If you don't know, you don't know.
If you don't know, you don't know. And in this world, you know, you being Black and, you know, being an educator, you gotta be twice as educated. You gotta be twice as focused, because they can send somebody in, you know, with more money, with more access to resources, with longevity, and, you know, just giving thousands of dollars to organizations, or just coming in and telling Black-led schools how they should be running their organizations. If you're not in front of what's going on, you will get left behind in this game. So we recognize that we need to get our tech game
that's right,
in a heightened space, because we're just as equitable as anybody else. You know, we care just as much as an organization that's twice the size of us and have been doing it twice as long.
Right.
But we're Black-led. And that's important, because the communities
it is
are Black and brown communities. And so I think we're in a better space to support a lot of these organizations. That doesn't mean that they shouldn't take from, you know, non-Black led organizations or institutions, but there's something to be said about, you know, relatability. That I find that the organizations we partner with always say is why they focus on partnering with us, is because we know how to meet the community where they are. We understand what the community is looking for, and we gain that knowledge working in the school system.
Yes.
It doesn't get no realer than a 10, 11-year-old telling you what it is that they feel is education, why class is boring. It doesn't get realer than a high school, someone who's dropped out of high school telling you that, you know, they've been in and out of multiple schools, and they're starting to think at this point it's not them, it's the school. You're absolutely right.
It is.
It is the school.
Yeah.
It can't be that you keep going to all these places, and I think society has us thinking it's the young person, or they just it's the families. The families are just wild. The families are just ghetto. No,
it is. You're right. It's that, and they have a really bad stereotype with that.
It's disgusting. A lot of times, families be bugging, and it be a lot to handle. But when you really start to peel back some of the layers, it's like, well, they really have no idea what's going on. They're counting on this school to just guide their young person through the process, because that's what they vision school to be, because that's what may have sold them.
Yeah.
And so you see schools in some ways starting to pull back from that and trying to make it a more collaborative effort between the student, the staff, and then the parent. And I think we've always focused on community and family, so that's already integrated into what we always come with the parent aspect. We're always looking at, you know, how we can support teachers in professional development, because as an educator, you'll always go through various types of professional development. So
that's true.
Everybody's learning, but you can't be in a position of power like a lot of these organizations are and don't want to teach. You want compliance. You want people to do what you want to do. You don't really want to teach anybody anything. And that's really problematic.
I'm glad that you guys aren't doing that.
No,
you're actually want people to be able to follow in your steps.
Inshallah.
I do have a question. What if someone should do if they are interested in going and finding one of these vacant lots and possibly opening up their own their own urban farm? What are the first few steps that someone should take?
So the first few steps I would say is think about whether or not you want to run your farm as a passion project or if you want to run it as a business. But you can you could start a little garden, and the only thing that separates a garden from a farm is that a farm can make can show that they've made $1,000 in produce. Anybody can call their garden a farm. But if you're thinking about growing produce, I would think about whether or not is this something I'm just trying to do with my friends and family, and just just something that's relaxing. It's self-care, or is this something that I see potentially impacting a larger community and something that I potentially want to make a profit out of? And then after that
makes sense.
After that, I would say, we would be a great organization to reach out to help you flesh out some of your ideas. Like once you decide which route you want to go, if you're an organization looking to, develop a larger initiative around your project, definitely help you develop a framework around identifying a property, presenting a proposal to the office of vacant properties, and coming together to help you recognize some resources. Give me 1 second. I just need to throw my computer on the charger before I lose you all.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, I see you fading back there a little bit.
I'm fading a little bit.
I like that partition you got back there too.
Yeah, it's keeping all the extra chaos in the back to a minute. Okay, got my charger. So I would say again that first identify whether or not you're looking for something more along the lines of a passion project, or if you're looking to do something that is going to be more nonprofit focused or for-profit, in the sense of it's larger than just you doing it just for the heck of it, which is also cool. There's nothing wrong with having a garden or an urban farm just as a passion project. That's less blighted property in the city that you know, is just sitting around either collecting material or, you know, people stuff there. If you want to turn it into something where you're giving away the fruits and vegetables or selling it, reach out to us so we can help you develop a game plan and talk to you about how you can, you know, develop these proposals, because we can assist you in developing a proposal. If you want to do the adoption process, you need to come up with a proposal to present to Keith Hamilton, in charge of vacant property at City Hall, and he will definitely sit down and go through your proposal with you to help you identify whether or not they think it's something that you've thought thoroughly about and you can see through, because they don't necessarily want to have a few projects out there where people are trying to start things and not really seeing them through.
Right? Because that's you know, waste of a lot resources and time.
It does waste resources, and then in a lot of ways, the properties that are on the adopt a lot list are potential properties for redevelopment. So if you're not doing something with it, then more than likely we see the direction that the city is going with rapid redevelopment.
Right.
If it's not going to be used effectively, then it'll be used for another purpose.
Right. Somebody will get it.
Somebody's going to get it. So thinking about that is really, really important, that you want to come with something that looks, you know, official, and we're the type of organization that can walk you through developing that proposal. We'll let you know what you're looking for, which is things that are very straightforward, but you know, to have a team, urban farm, a decent sized one, which is, I would say, a lot of the farms in the city, the larger to like medium sized ones are about 2,500 square feet.
Wow.
That can take a decent amount of people to kind of manage. So we have
you gotta think about all of those things.
Man, this
like you said, you have a proposal. This is why they have to come to you. Reach out to you. Anyone who's interested, who's watching, or who later watches, definitely reach out to him, because he's been doing it for a while. You have the right connections. You know what it takes to get started.
Yep, we can help you with, you know, possibly developing some grants. You know, if you're looking for a proposal that you can kind of use, a flexible proposal that you could use to garner funds for your urban farming work or youth development. You can spin it in so many different ways once you have a piece of, you know, when you're thinking about crowdfunding and things like that, the opportunities are limitless for how you can kind of organize yourself so that you can carry out this project. So I definitely reach out to us. We'd love to schedule a time to speak to you and offer what we can.
Hassan, he said a good evening. Thank you, Hassan, for joining us.
Peace.
If you have any questions, I know Bilal definitely will have the answers. Because it's a lot. I know we're talking about knowledge. It's a lot, to learn. But people have to realize it's baby steps. Even whether you're starting a business or you're trying to learn to eat, locally. With do a farmer's market. Yeah,
it's all a step-by-step process. You don't have to rush into doing kind of things. And if anyone's interested in getting hands-on experience, in April 17th, we're having a volunteer day, and then April 24th we're having a volunteer day. So that's 2 back-to-back weekends starting.
Okay, I was going to ask you about what upcoming events you have. So you have 2 already coming up in April.
Yep. And one of the great things about our volunteer days is that, for the most part, they're going to be spearheaded by our ambassadors. So we just brought on some ambassadors who are going to be helping us build out the second farm on Elizabeth Avenue. These are local businesses, Black-owned businesses that have agreed to commit to 15 hours of service learning, and then in lieu of their service to us in developing a sustainable food system, they're going to curate different events at our gardens. They're going to be able to vend at our gardens when we have our different events. So it's building camaraderie and we're getting the extra support that we need, because we get organizations that reach out to us, and they might come once and twice, and they always say, no, we want to be consistent. Like, we want to be invested in what you all are doing. So that's kind of why we decided to develop this ambassadors program called Planet Nork. And so, yeah, we're really excited. We got Sprouts Juice, Brown Box, Vibes in the City. Who else do we have on board? We have a few other organizations.
Right. Yeah, you probably got a good bit.
I'm so excited.
You guys are really working, coordinating together, which is lovely to see.
We're all about cooperation and highlighting people in the community that are doing good things, and there are a ton of people that are doing amazing things.
Right.
On a small business perspective, that we want to make sure like we check in with them, because these are the Black-owned businesses that were kind of, while we were doing some of our crowdfunding last year, trying to get resources, these are the organizations that are retweeting us. These are the organizations that are funneling our crowdfunding campaign through their network. So this is our opportunity to let them know, hey, we saw how you supported us. Now let's create visibility for your business. Let's opportunities for you to get involved in urban farming. And if out of the 7 ambassadors we have, if one of them come out of it, decide they want to start urban farm, then hell yeah. That's even if it's just one of them.
Just
one, yeah. Because that's another organization that's Black led that can take that and, you know, take whatever they want to grow in a farm and maybe integrate it into their business. You know, maybe it's just all creating new opportunities to make money. We have to get to the truth of the matter with a lot of these things, is that yes, we want to do things in the community, but these things have to be self-sustaining. How are we going to feed people who can't run a farm? Or if you can't run a small business, there's no way you're going to be able to contribute back to the community. You could barely keep your doors open.
Right.
It is what it is.
Everybody
is struggling. A lot of people are really struggling, and it's unfortunate that Black businesses
they are.
So we love the support that we're getting from our ambassadors and from all the other organizations around the city that support us, like La Casa de Don Pedro, like
La Casa been around. Wow.
La Casa, I'm so grateful for them. I know our North Ward family, even though y'all all over Greater Newark, farm is on Grafton Avenue, North Broadway neighborhood, and La Casa originally started in the North Broadway neighborhood. So shout out to La Casa, shout out to our Northwood Councilman Anibal Ramos Jr., who's consistently supporting our efforts. He's a councilman that's out there picking up trash when he has volunteer days. He's distributing food when he has distribution days. And so, yeah, it takes kind people. It takes selfless people to do this work.
Yeah, I believe it.
It also takes business-minded and forward-thinking people to do this work, because if everybody's mindset is to just give away, there's no sustainability in any
Right, it's not. I agree with that.
Yeah. I'm so happy to be here. It's great.
Yeah, I'm definitely, like I said, it's been since last year. I was trying to get you on.
You've been trying to get me for a minute. I was hiding. I had to hide. This master's program is
right. You had a lot going on, so I'm definitely proud of you, what you're doing.
Thank you.
Being back in school and juggling all of this as well, and still trying to help the community.
Inshallah.
So do you have an on the Q tip you would like to leave the viewers? It can be a health tip. It can be about fitness, spirituality, anything.
My on the Q tip is to keep the Most High at the forefront of your life.
Yes.
Take the times that you need for self-care. And show the people around you the love and respect that they deserve. That's my only Q-tip.
Yeah, that's a good one. Especially now, you got to tell people how you feel.
Yeah.
When you're feeling it, you can't just wait and push it off.
Because they might not be here.
Might not be here. Literally might not. So definitely tell people, how you feel. Sometimes good or bad. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes people don't want to tell the truth. Sometimes you do need to just get something off your chest, you know, and let it go from there.
Yeah.
You know, what happens from there.
Don't hold it in. You know, even if you gotta, you know, write it down. It's sometimes fortunate because you want to connect with people, but then you're like, but it might just cause something completely other.
Right.
You know, make peace with it by just addressing it. Go to therapy if you can afford it, and I say that.
Now, so, you know, with the pandemic, there, as far as insurance companies, they've kind of cut back on that. You know, as far as having to pay to see a therapist. You know, they have all these medicine things. You know,
take advantage
going on now.
So they got Al-Anon on telehealth. They got all types of support groups for people who are living through various socio-emotional disorders, and you're not alone in feeling like you're a Black person or of color who's experiencing anxiety or depression. You know, we're all out here struggling with these things, myself included. So please take care of yourself and pour into yourself in healthy ways, and don't be
healthy ways. Yes,
eager to jump into the destructive habits that are easier for us to
they sure are.
Yeah, they
are. So how can people reach you for your services, or just to follow you, or if they just need some type of encouragement? How can people follow you and reach out to you?
Dope. So if you want to reach out to Al-Munir LLC, again, we're a education consulting firm based out of Newark, New Jersey. Between Anna and I, we can help get your organization up to speed with culturally responsive community engagement, curriculum development, grant writing. You can send us an email to almunirconsulting@gmail.com. That's one word, ALMUNIRCUCON SULT at gmail.com. So that's almunirconsulting@gmail.com. And we will be happy to check in with you. If you want to follow us on Instagram, that's Al-Munir Consulting, one word. Reach out to us and we will gladly schedule a time to check in with you so that we can see what type of projects you're working on, what you're interested in. Or if you're just like, hey, I really don't know exactly what I would like for you all to support me in, but I saw the program and I just want to connect. We could schedule some time to speak to you, and I'm sure that it was something we could pull out of that mind and that amazing heart of yours and help you actualize it into something that's impactful for yourself and for your families and community.
Yes, that's awesome, because people definitely have, ideas within them. They just need somebody to help guide them, bring those ideas out of them.
We all need a coach. We all need
I'm big on that. Some people feel like, oh, I got it like that, but no, you don't. You know,
no, you need someone,
there's nothing wrong with having somebody coach you through something.
Absolutely.
I don't care how long you've been doing something. I know people who've been successful, making all this money, and even they have coaches, and mentors.
My grandfather is my mentor, and he'll always be my mentor. He's taught me so much about business and how to engage with people on a meaningful level. So I check on my grandfather, and I'm always looking for his knowledge and guidance.
Right. Well, I appreciate you, coming on, again tonight, for sharing your all this great advice and tips that you have. So I'm definitely going to leave your information underneath on the video.
Thank you.
As well, how people can contact your email. Okay. And again, I just, like I said, I appreciate you coming on.
No, I appreciate you having me.
Definitely informative tonight.
Well, yeah, I would love to have you at the Gardens if we can do
yes
on the queue and the Gardens, then that would be dope. We get your production equipment set up, and we could definitely make it happen. We'll be having some really interesting events, and my business partner is always looking to highlight Black women as well. So I love seeing
that's right.
Black women at the forefront of media, telling the stories, capturing the stories, highlighting the voices. We need it. You all have been doing this for so long. So shout out to you, Qadriyyah.
Yeah, thank you, brother.
You having us. It's dope. You got
yeah, I love to give people, like you said, a voice.
Yeah, man, it's needed.
Platform to speak their story.
Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, thank you. Do you need any volunteers, by the way, before we sign off for these events?
Oh,
are
yeah.
you okay with that? Are you good? I'm sure you need more people.
If anyone's looking, if you want to volunteer, get your hands dirty.
Literally get your hands
dirty or not, because there's other ways that you can support what we do, like canvassing, where we're going to door.
Okay, yeah.
On a scheduled times to connect with families via a phone call, so we can see like, hey, what resources are you looking for? Right. You know, are you looking for food? Are you looking for menstrual pads or things like that? We try to make sure we get to the nitty gritty of what families want. So for looking to do something virtual to support us.
Yes, that too.
The virtual love.
Always ways to support.
Absolutely. Yes. Absolutely. And just sharing with your network is also a great way to support us, because we don't know who may be passionate about what we're doing and want to support us, or may need support from us. So please share our information with your loved ones. Just share it on your social media. We're always grateful.
Yeah, share. You just never know who might see it.
Nope. Never know.
You know, it might be that one person that has, the $1 million grant that changes everything.
I've seen that.
They're just looking for places to give their money.
Just look at Akbar Cook over at Westside High School and all the amazing things he's doing.
Yeah, shout out to him.
Amazing brother. Start to put some laundry detergent and laundry machines in his school, and it caught fire, and next thing you know, he's sitting on the Ellen show. You never.
That's crazy, right?
Somebody. So shout out to him.
Out of the goodness of his heart.
Out of just him being kind and just thinking, this makes sense. He saw a need, and rather than him sitting around and just staying the hell with it and letting his students walk around with dirty clothes, disencouraged, he's looking at his attendance data and thinking, hey, if I take a couple $1,000s and invest in some laundry machines, I'm gonna have a highest attendance rate. Right. Let's get it going. So yeah, we're always for partners and sponsors, and contact us. We'll love to talk to you, give you a tour of the garden. We typically do garden tours on Saturday morning, so you want to come out and see the spot, hit us up, and we'll get you in there on a Saturday.
Yeah, you guys, y'all heard that. It's nice weather now. It's no excuse. Just mask up, social distance, and do your tour.
Yep, we got plenty of space.
Learn something.
Read a book, drink a cup of tea. We're gonna have it popping in the spring and summertime. Watch.
Yeah, I know it already is starting to pop.
Yeah, man, we gotta get it going. Can't be locked up in these houses forever.
No, we can't do that. We don't do that here. But again, Bilal, I appreciate you coming on. I appreciate everyone who tuned in, tonight. Everyone who commented as well. You guys can always, even after the broadcast, you can always, like I said, reach out to you or ask, any questions of how you can, participate, or, reach out to you for service or volunteer work, or if you want to be a guest as well on the Q with Qadriyyah Marie. I'm here. I'm always, ready to interview people and have everybody come on who's doing something positive and promote what you're doing. If you're doing something positive, we all need to support each other.
Yes, we need to highlight it for sure.
Yeah. All right, you guys. I'm gonna sign off for tonight until next time. So I appreciate you again, Bilal.
I appreciate you too, cuz.
All right, cuz. Yeah, let me get my little rock on too. Absolutely. All right, good night.
Peace.
All right, peace out.